Good afternoon. Welcome to the December 3rd, 2019 Glendale Housing Authority meeting being called to order at, I don't know what it is, 3:06 p.m. May I have the roll call?
Authority members Devine,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
Barazian, Quintero,
Here.
Garpetian,
Here.
Chair Agajanian.
Present. May I please have your report?
Sure. Before we read the report, just like to state that there is an item for closed session that we'll be recessing to. Mr. Chair and Housing Authority, the agenda for the December 3rd, 2019. Sorry.
These are new circumstances as we're moving into this. I just realized I should be using this microphone, which is why it's here. The agenda for the December 3rd, 2019 regular meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority was posted on Wednesday, November 27, 2019 on the bulletin board outside City Hall. And as, if I may, I'll just read the closed session item now so you can recess at the conclusion of this meeting. 2A is a conference with real property negotiators. Agency negotiators attending closed session are Yasmin Beers, Rubik Galanian, Mike Garcia, Jillian Bamaidam, Philip Lanzafame, Peter Zovac, Mike Fortney, and Michelle Flynn. Instructions to negotiators will concern the price and terms for the acquisition of property. Property location number 1239 South Glendale Avenue. Negotiating parties are Glendale Avenue Properties, LLC. Property location number 3 is 625 North Louis Street. Negotiating parties, North Brand Mixed Use, LLC. With that, the next item on the agenda is approval of minutes.
I'll move the minutes.
Second.
May I have a
Authority members Devine,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Quintero, Yes. Parazian, Garpetian,
Yes.
Chair Agajanian.
Yes. What's next?
Next is oral communication. Discussion is limited to items not part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Members of the Housing Authority may question or respond to the speaker, but there's no debate or decision. Matter may be referred to staff through the Executive Director for investigation report, and there were no cards submitted for this portion.
Okay, oral communication is closed. What's next?
There is any authority member or staff comments?
Any authority member or staff comments? Okay. Actually, I have one issue that I want to discuss. Last week, I guess, or week before, I guess last week, we approved $300 per family members that they are disabled or 75 years and over, and the other member of the family should be 62 and older. And apparently, the way I understand now, when they go to register, they say there are problems to register. So is anybody can explain exactly what is it that we want to do? Because the way I understood that those who are disabled and those who are 75 years and older, they will be in one pool among them if they are not over, if we don't have over 1,000 applications, then they will receive the financial support, which was $300. If there are over 1,000 people will apply, then we will go through lottery system. But now when they go to the housing or they come to City Hall, that's not what they understand. And they say if you are not disabled, they are not going to get it, or can somebody explain to me?
Sure. Housing Chair Agajanian, members of the Housing Authority. I believe Mr. Zovac is in the audience, and if you can make your way up, Mr. Zovac, and give an overview of what the council approved last June, as well as had the conversation again in October in terms of the program parameters before moving forward with the application process that we're undergoing at this time through December 12th. So with that, Mr. Zovac.
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the Housing Authority, in October, and after a series of meetings prior to October, in October the Housing Authority approved the final program parameters of what's being called the Monthly Housing Subsidy Program. And the way that the Housing Authority and City Council approved that program is that the minimum qualifications are that every household member must be a senior, age 62 and over, Anyone who, with a household where a member is age 75 and older, will be given priority. At least one member of every household must be disabled in order to qualify and apply. Each household must be a renter within the city of Glendale, and they must be, in terms of total household income, extremely low income levels. So that was the program that was approved by the city council, and those are the parameters that are being advertised and implemented at the application center.
Okay. My problem is with the issue that you read, that they should be over 75 and disabled. I mean, if over 75 is not going to be in the pool, it's
What-
not disabled, let's say.
Everyone to
person
apply,
78 years old.
everyone must be age 62 and older.
Right.
For those that have a member who is age 75 and older, they would be given priority.
Right.
As a separate qualification, in order to apply the minimum requirements, someone in the household must be disabled.
Okay. The disabled has priority. And if you are 75 and over and you are not disabled, still you are part of that
No.
priority.
No.
No.
Mr. Agajanian, every household must have one person that's disabled. Every single household. And the idea behind it was that council really wanted to direct this assistance to the most needy, and thinking that would be seniors and those that are disabled. And so that's why they're two separate qualification items. Must be 62, must be disabled. If somebody in the household is 75 or above, they're going to have somebody disabled because that's a minimum qualification. Then they take priority over the rest of the people that are there with a disability. So everybody in the program must have one person with a disability in the household.
So that's priority, right? That's part of it. That's
And-
kind of a
So
condition,
being,
basically.
I'm sorry, one
The
second.
the disability is a minimum requirement for every applicant household, whether they're 62 or over or 75 or over.
No, I understand. But I think what I'm understanding here is if you have a household with equal age limits, right? Let's say 75 and 75, one is disabled, the other one isn't. Or 80 and 80, one is disabled, the other one isn't. The one that has disability would take precedent over the other, the one.
The other one doesn't
In
even
an
qualify.
The other
eventual
one's-
lottery, every household member,
Oh, the other one doesn't
every
even
applicant-
qualify.
Correct.
Correct.
right, they will
it's a-
all have a disability for those people that apply to the program.
And these parameters were set June 11th of 2019 before the Housing Authority, where we went down and covered all of the criteria and gave the council the option based on what the pleasure of the council was in terms of what that criteria should be. And ultimately, what the decision was, as Mr. Zovac indicated, related to the 62 and over disabled as a priority, as a baseline, I should say, as a baseline.
Okay. Councilmember Quintero.
Yeah, so I was not on board June 11th this year. I have a question. So how is disability defined? Is this Social Security disability or how?
There are two ways that it will be looked at, and as we discussed in a couple of the staff reports that we presented to City Council. The easiest way is a disability designation through Social Security, typically through SSI designation. Those that may not have an SSI designation of disability, but do have some type of disability that they're claiming, they're allowed to apply, and if they were selected in a lottery process at that point, they would have to prove that disability through that second means.
Through a doctor?
Correct.
And that's under Section 504, I guess, based on the discussions we had in June. So
Yeah,
the
a process
disability.
similar to the Section 8 process.
Correct.
Does the staff know if people, say, past 72 or 74, receiving Social Security I don't think there's going to be any requirement for any disability or anything else. Age alone is enough for them to be on Social Security, correct?
Well, you're either receiving Social Security that you're earning through previous
Your work,
employment,
right.
or SSI that you're receiving as being over 62 and having some type of disability up to a point in which once you're over 65, that SSI could become automatic just for being over 65.
Even though you haven't contributed to
Correct.
Social Security Fund.
Right. Right. It's kind of a fallback assistance program for those that didn't earn enough credits to receive Social Security employment-related benefits.
So basically, older recipients are going to have to go to a doctor and establish some disability, correct?
Correct. Correct. And there were cases that when we have been meeting with clients as they're applying that maybe are not receiving SSI per se, but do have some type of disability that they've identified with and said they'd be willing or able to approve it if and when they were selected in a lottery process and as they go through the screening after that.
Quite often, a percentage is set, whether it's a VA or workers' comp or whatever it is. You're 10% disabled, 30%, 50%.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to handle that?
Partial disabilities is something we're going to have to look at and see how often they might crop up. It hasn't really come up in any of the conversations with the clients that we've been meeting with so far, but we'll wait until we get that point to take a look at it further.
Councilmember Devine.
Yeah. What are the numbers looking like right now?
The first week and a half of the program was strong. We were having anywhere between 400 to 500 people applying on a daily basis. More than that showing up, learning of the requirements, and then not applying because they did not qualify. Mm-hmm. Last count has over 2,000 applications that have been inputted and received. And we're going through the process now that we're at a little bit of a slow peak now towards the tail end. We are accepting applications till December 12th, that we're able to look at some of the data. And we're seeing that there is a large number of households that would have a priority of having a member over 75. And we're at that point where we don't know whether to be one lottery only for priority folks, because there are so many house applicants with a 75-year-old priority, or we might have those in-between number where you might have to have a lottery for the priority draw, and then have a lottery for backups who are not 75. We're taking a look at that.
So we're over 2,000 right now.
We're over 2,000 overall right now, yes. About 2,200 to be exact.
And this will close at December 12th, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Are there any authority member or staff comments again, or we are done with it? So we recess to the closed session.